I pulled his wetsuit jacket off the bathroom hook and an ultrasound photo slid out of the inner pocket, still warm from his body. The shower was running, the mirror was fogged, and his phone on the sink started vibrating like it was trying to crawl away. I didn't read the photo first. I grabbed the phone because the screen lit up with a name I didn't recognize, Maya. Another buzz. Another message preview, bright and blunt in the steam, "You don't get to hide me anymore. I'm pregnant." My hand went numb around the phone, but my thumb still swiped. The password wasn't my birthday. It wasn't our anniversary. It wasn't the dog's name. It was a 6-digit code I'd never seen before, like he'd built a whole second life behind glass. The shower shut off. I shoved the phone back exactly where it was, too fast, like I could erase what I'd seen with placement. I flattened the ultrasound against my thigh and stared at the black and white blur like it could explain itself. The bathroom door opened. Evan stepped out with a towel around his waist, water running down his chest, smiling the way he always did when he thought the world was safe. "Hey," he said, like nothing in the air had changed. "You're up early." I held the photo behind my leg. "Your jacket fell." He glanced at it, casual, then his eyes flicked, just for a second, to where my hand was. That tiny shift was the first honest thing I'd seen from him in weeks. "Thanks," he said, and reached for the jacket. I didn't give it to him. I stepped back instead. He froze, towel still in his fist, smile stuck in place like it was glued on. "What's that?" he asked, already knowing. I lifted the ultrasound into the light. The color drained out of his face so fast it looked rehearsed. For a heartbeat, I expected him to laugh, to say it was his sisters or his coworkers or some stupid prank. He didn't laugh. He didn't even blink. "Where did you get that?" he whispered. "Your pocket," I said. My voice sounded steady, which scared me more than if it had cracked. "Why is there a pregnancy photo in your pocket, Evan?" He took a step toward me like I was holding a weapon. "Okay," he said, palms up. "Okay, let's not." The way he said "let's" made me want to throw something. Like we were a team managing a minor inconvenience. "Don't," I said. "Just don't do the calm voice." His throat moved. He swallowed hard. It's not what you think." That phrase hit me like a slap because it was exactly what guilty people say in movies, and I hated that my life was turning into a script. "So explain it," I said. "Because right now I think you're cheating on me and you got her pregnant." He flinched at the word pregnant like I'd spoken it too loudly. "I didn't," he started, then stopped, then tried again. "It was a mistake. A mistake. Not a choice. Not a pattern. Not a series of lies. Just a mistake, like spilling coffee." "How long?" I asked. He looked at the floor. That was the answer before he said anything. "How long?" I repeated, louder. He dragged a hand over his face, water still dripping off his hair. "A few months." My stomach dropped so hard I thought I might actually fold in half. "A few months," I echoed. "While you were kissing me goodbye every morning. While you were telling me you were working late. While you were taking calls in the garage like the house was bugged." He opened his mouth, and I watched him choose words the way someone chooses tools. "I was stressed," he said. "You know work has been." I laughed, one sharp sound, because of course he tried to blame the world first. "Who is she?" I asked. He hesitated. That hesitation was a second betrayal. It meant protecting her mattered more than easing me. "Evan," I said, and I didn't recognize the voice that came out of me. "Who is she?" He exhaled like he was letting go of something heavy. "Maya." The same name from the phone. My chest tightened. My brain started doing that awful thing where it tries to build a timeline like if I solve it fast enough, it'll hurt less. "I want to see your phone," I said. "No," he said instantly, too fast. The speed of his refusal told me everything his words hadn't. "I'm your wife," I said, and the word wife tasted weird in my mouth, like it belonged to someone else. "You don't get to say no." "I'm trying to handle it," he snapped, then immediately softened when he saw my face. "I mean, I'm trying. It's complicated." "Complicated as planning a wedding with your mother," I said. "This is just lying." He took another step closer, like proximity could fix it. "It didn't mean anything," he said. I stared at him. "Then why is there an ultrasound in your pocket like it's your wallet?" He flinched again. She made me take it." "Made you," I said. My voice went icy. "You're telling me you're helpless now?" He looked down, then back up, and I saw something in his eyes I hadn't seen before. Panic. Not guilt. Panic. She's pushing," he said carefully. "She wants it to be official." The words landed with a sickening heaviness. Official. Like we were a typo she wanted corrected. My hand started shaking, and I hated that he could see it. I hated giving him that power. "Official how?" I asked. He didn't answer right away. The silence stretched, thick and ugly, and in it I heard every time he'd brushed me off, every time I'd told myself I was overthinking. Like she wants me to leave," he said finally. I stared at him until my eyes burned. Are you going to? I asked. He opened his mouth, and for a second I honestly thought he might say no. I thought he might fight for us, for the life we built, for the stupid photos on the fridge and the vacations we never took. Instead he said, I don't know. My heart made a sound inside my chest like something cracking. You don't know, I repeated. I'm trying to do the right thing, he said, like he was auditioning for the role of decent man. The right thing for who? I asked. He looked at the ultrasound in my hand. Not at me, at the photo. That was my answer. I walked past him into the bedroom, because if I stayed in that steamy bathroom another second I was going to scream. He followed, still in his towel, dripping on the hardwood like a trail. Please, he said. Don't do this don't blow it up. We can talk. Blow it up. As if he hadn't already set the match and watched. I went straight to his nightstand and yanked the drawer open. He reached for my wrist. Stop. I jerked away so hard his fingers slipped off me. What else is there? I asked, tearing through his mess of chargers and receipts. What else have you been hiding? There's nothing, he insisted. The lie came out so smooth it made my skin crawl. I found a small velvet box tucked behind a stack of old mail. Not mine. Not the one he'd given me. Newer. Cleaner. Like it hadn't been handled much yet. My blood went cold. Evan's face changed. Not guilt now. Fear. Don't open that, he said. Of course I opened it. Inside was a thin gold ring, simple and delicate, the kind of thing you could pretend was temporary while still making it mean everything. A second ring. I didn't feel tears. I felt emptiness, like someone had scooped me out. He took a step forward. It's not. I held it up, and my hand looked like it belonged to someone else. You bought her a ring. I didn't give it to her, he said quickly. I haven't. I was going to. Going to what? I asked. Surprise me with divorce papers? He ran a hand through his wet hair, desperate. She's pressuring me. She said if I don't make it official, she'll tell you herself. I blinked slowly. She'll tell me, I repeated. Like I'm the problem she needs to inform. She found out about you, he said, and the way he said you made me feel like the side piece in my own marriage. She didn't know at first. That hit me in a weird place, like a twisted mercy. He hadn't even told her I existed. A new vibration buzzed from the bathroom, faint through the hallway. His phone again. Then again. Then again, like someone hammering on a locked door. Evan flinched at every buzz. Answer it, I said. No, he said. Not right now. The buzzing kept coming, relentless. My gaze slid to his laptop on the dresser. It was closed, but the little light on the side pulsed, sleep mode, waiting. My mind grabbed onto it like a rope. What's her last name? I asked. He hesitated, and I felt myself detach even more. Evan. He whispered it like a confession. Carter. Carter. A normal name. A real person. Not a faceless villain. The buzzing stopped. Then my own phone chimed on the bed. I looked down. A message request. From an unknown number. No greeting. No warning. Just a photo. It was Evan, shirtless, lying on a bed I didn't recognize, his wedding band still on his finger, his face turned toward the camera in the kind of sleep that makes you look innocent. Under it, one line. He said you'd make this hard. Let's make it official. The bedroom tilted. Evan saw my face change and lunged for my phone, but I stepped back, clutching it to my chest. For the first time, he looked like a stranger in my house. My hand shook as I stared at the screen, and the last thing I saw before my vision blurred was the reflection of my own face in the black glass, white, still, and completely unrecognizable. I didn't look away from the photo. I couldn't. His wedding band was a tiny circle of metal on a hand that had touched my face an hour ago. Evan kept moving toward me like I was a ledge he could talk me off. Give me the phone, he said, voice low, urgent. I tightened my grip until my knuckles hurt. So you can delete it? I can explain it, he snapped, then caught himself. I can fix it. Fix it. Like a broken cabinet hinge. Like a bill you pay late. Another message popped up before I could breathe. Maya, I'm outside. My eyes lifted to the window without me telling them to. We lived on the second floor. Our street was quiet. The kind of quiet Evan always called safe. A car door slammed. Evan heard it too. The muscles in his jaw jumped. No, he whispered, like he was pleading with the air. Not now. I walked to the curtain and pulled it back just enough to see. A white sedan idled by the curb. Headlights off. Engine on. A silhouette in the driver's seat didn't move, just sat there like she'd been parked in my life for months. My stomach turned. Evan was behind me, too close. Don't, he said. Please don't engage with her. Engage. Like she was a solicitor, not the woman carrying his child. My phone chimed again. Maya, tell him to come down. I want to do this like adults. Adults. The audacity of that word hit me so hard I almost laughed. Evan grabbed for my phone again. I spun away, fast, and he stopped himself at the last second like he realized how it would look to put hands on me. Why does she have my number? I asked. He blinked. I didn't. Don't lie, I said. My voice had gone flat. I'm done with your reflex lies. His shoulders sagged in a way that almost looked convincing. She found it, he said. She went through my stuff. She's been spiraling. He was already turning her into the crazy one. Of course he was. I opened the message thread, scrolling with a thumb that didn't feel attached to me. There were older messages I hadn't seen because they were in requests, waiting like a trap. One from 3 weeks ago, he said you don't want kids. One from a week ago, he said you sleep in separate rooms. One from yesterday, he said the marriage is basically over. Each line was a knife he'd sharpened on my back. Evan watched my face and flinched at every scroll. Stop reading that, he said, softer now. It's poison. It's your words, I said. Your lies. Don't blame the paper. A knock hit the front door downstairs. Hard. 3 times. Like she owned the rhythm of my house. Evan's eyes snapped to the bedroom door. He looked like a man trying to choose between 2 fires. The knock came again. Then a voice rose from the entryway, muffled but clear enough to slice through the floorboards. Evan, I know you're home. My skin crawled at the sound of her saying his name like it belonged to her mouth. Evan moved, fast, heading for the stairs. I'll handle it, he said. I followed him without thinking, bare feet on hardwood, phone still in my hand like a weapon and a wound. He reached the top of the stairs and paused, listening, calculating. I saw him do it, measuring how loud she was, how much the neighbors could hear, how big the mess could get. He wasn't worried about me. He was worried about being seen. He went down anyway, one hand gripping the railing like it was the only stable thing in his life. I stayed at the top of the stairs, just out of sight, and watched him open the front door. She stepped inside like she'd been invited. She was younger than I expected. Mid-20s maybe, hair in a neat ponytail. No dramatic makeup. No wild eyes. She looked normal. Her hand rested on her stomach in a practiced gesture that made my throat tighten. Evan's voice dropped. Maya, not here. Where then? She shot back, sharp and controlled. Your car? Another hotel? Another lie? He tried to grab her elbow. She yanked away. Don't touch me, she said, loud enough that I felt it in my teeth. Evan glanced up the stairs, and his eyes met mine. For a second, the mask slipped and I saw pure fear. Maya followed his gaze. Her eyes locked on me like we'd been connected by an invisible wire this whole time. Oh, she said, and her mouth curled into something that wasn't a smile. So you are real. Evan stepped between us like he could physically block the truth. Maya stepped closer anyway, stopping in the foyer, looking up at me like she'd come to collect something. You're prettier than he described, she said. The words were sweet on the surface, but I heard the hook underneath. I walked down a few steps until I could see her clearly. My heart was pounding, but my face stayed still. What did he describe? I asked. Evan hissed my name like a warning. Don't. Maya's eyes flicked to him with disgust. He said you're cold, she said. He said you don't touch him. He said you treat him like a roommate. I stared at Evan while she spoke, waiting for him to deny it, to interrupt, to defend me for once. He didn't. Maya pulled a folded paper from her bag with 2 fingers like it was evidence. She held it up. It was the same ultrasound photo. My stomach dropped again because that meant she'd given him one and kept one like a receipt. I'm 10 weeks, she said. He knows. He's known. Evan's voice cracked. Maya, please. Please what? She snapped. Please keep me hidden? Please keep telling me you'll figure it out. Her eyes cut to me. He promised me he'd leave. The quiet that followed felt like a room vacuum sealed. My voice came out small, even though I didn't want it to. Did you know he was married? Maya's face shifted, annoyance first, then something like satisfaction. He told me you were separated, she said. Then he told me it was complicated. Then he told me you'd be fine once you met me. Evan flinched like he'd been punched. I never said that. Maya's laugh was sharp. You said I was reasonable. You said I understood. She stepped forward, and Evan stepped back instinctively, like she was the dangerous one. I'm not here to fight you, she said to me, voice suddenly softer. I'm here to end the pretending. Evan snapped. Stop talking like you're the victim. Maya's eyes flashed. I am the one carrying your kid, she said. And you're still wearing her ring. She pointed at his hand. Evan looked down at his wedding band like he'd forgotten it existed, like it had appeared there by accident. Then Maya did something that made my blood run cold. She reached into her bag again and pulled out the small velvet box. The one from our nightstand. She held it up between 2 fingers and looked at me with a calm that felt rehearsed. He bought this for me, she said. Then he chickened out. So I took it. Evan's face went gray. You broke into our, Maya repeated, mocking. You keep saying our like you didn't split yourself in half. She opened the box and tilted it so I could see the ring inside. The thin gold band caught the light from our hallway lamp and flashed like a warning. I don't want to be a secret, she said. I don't want a baby that shows up on weekends. She looked at Evan, eyes hard. Either you make it official, or I make it public. Evan swallowed. What does that mean? Maya didn't even blink. It means I tell your parents, she said. I tell your boss. I tell everyone you've been lying to. Then she looked back at me and lowered her voice, like she was sharing a private kindness. And I tell her everything. Evan's head snapped toward me. Don't listen to her. But Maya's hand slid into her jacket pocket and came out with a second phone. She tapped the screen twice, calm, like she'd practiced this in a mirror. I already sent her a sample, she said, eyes on Evan. If you want to know what's next, ask him why I have video. The word video hit the air like a gunshot. Evan's body went rigid. I felt my stomach drop so fast it was like falling down the stairs. What video? I asked, and my voice didn't sound like mine anymore. Maya tilted her head, almost curious. He didn't tell you, she said, soft. Of course he didn't. Evan lunged toward her phone. Maya. She stepped back, quick, and held it out of reach like she'd done this dance before. Say it, she said to him, voice low now, dangerous. Say you'll leave. Say it in front of her. Evan's eyes flicked between us, trapped. His mouth opened, and my phone chimed again in my hand. A new message request from that unknown number. A video file. The thumbnail loaded in slow motion, pixel by pixel, like my phone was trying to be cruel. It was my bedroom, my bed, my sheets, and Evan's laugh, frozen on the tiny screen, right before the clip even started. I didn't press play. My thumb hovered over the screen like touching it would burn my skin. Evan saw the thumbnail and made a sound I'd never heard from him before, half choke, half plea. Don't, he said. Maya's eyes widened for a fraction of a second, then she recovered, smoothing her face like she was annoyed the surprise didn't land perfectly. He didn't tell you about the camera? She asked me, voice light. The camera, I repeated, because my brain needed to hear the words out loud to believe him. Evan stepped toward me, hands out. It's not what you think. I laughed, a short ugly sound. What part? I said. The cheating part, or the filming in my house part? Maya's smile disappeared. He said you wouldn't understand, she muttered, more to herself than anyone. Evan snapped at her, stop talking. Maya's chin lifted. Or what, she said. You'll lie harder? I forced myself to look at Evan's face. His eyes were fixed on my phone like it was a bomb. That fear was louder than any confession. Who filmed it? I asked. He didn't answer. Maya, I said, and my voice cut through the foyer like glass. Who filmed it? Her fingers tightened around her own phone. He did, she said. For me. Silence punched the air out of the room. I stared at Evan. You set up a camera in my bedroom. It wasn't like that, he said fast. I was trying to prove. Prove what? My voice climbed. That you can humiliate me on demand? His face twisted. She didn't believe me, he said, words tumbling. She thought I was lying about you being distant. She thought I was still. He stopped, realizing the hole he was digging. Still what? I asked. Still married? Still sleeping next to me? Still kissing me while you texted her in the bathroom? He flinched. I panicked. Maya scoffed. He didn't panic, she said. He planned. Evan whirled on her. Shut up. The shout was so loud it made me step back on instinct. Maya didn't flinch. She just watched him like she'd seen this sight 100 times and it didn't scare her anymore. I felt something inside me shift. Not heartbreak. Not even rage. It was clarity, sharp and cold. You brought her here, I said to Evan, quietly. He blinked, confused by the calm. What? You brought her here, I repeated. To my home. You let her take my number. You let her take that ring box. You let her stand in my foyer and threaten me. Evan swallowed. I didn't let. I held up my hand. Stop, I said. Every sentence you say is another lie trying to wear a new outfit. Maya's gaze stayed on me, almost impressed. He told me you'd scream, she said. He said you'd throw things. He said you were unstable. I turned my head toward her slowly. And you believed him. Maya's mouth tightened. I believed what he showed me. I lifted my phone so she could see the thumbnail again. He showed you this, I said. In my bed. Maya's eyes flicked to it. For the first time, something like discomfort cracked her composure. It wasn't supposed to be like this, she said, quieter. He said you were basically done. He said you'd be relieved. Relieved. Like I'd been waiting for him to free me. Evan tried to step closer again, like if he got close enough he could pull me back into being his wife, his shield, his cover. Talk to me upstairs, he said. Not in front of her. I looked at him and pictured a tiny camera hidden somewhere in the room where I slept, where I changed, where I cried. The nausea hit so hard I had to grip the banister. You don't get upstairs anymore, I said. Evan's eyes widened. Come on. No, I said, voice hard now. Don't call me come on like I'm being dramatic. Maya shifted her weight, impatient. I didn't come here for a therapy session, she said. I came for an answer. Evan snapped, "You'll get one when I decide." Maya's eyes narrowed. "Wrong," she said. "You'll give one because I have leverage." She lifted her phone slightly, reminding us it existed. Evan's face tightened. "What do you want?" he asked, tight through his teeth. Maya looked at me when she answered, like she wanted me to feel it. "I want him to file," she said. "I want him at my appointment next week. I want him to stop pretending he's two different men." My stomach turned again, but my voice stayed steady. "And if he doesn't?" Maya smiled, small and cruel. "Then I send the rest," she said. "The videos. The messages. The times he called you a roommate while he was inside me." Evan took a step forward like he might actually hit her, then stopped himself at the last second. His fists were clenched so tight his knuckles looked white. "Don't," I said to him, sharply. He turned toward me, breathing hard, eyes wild. "Do you hear her?" he demanded. "She's insane." Maya laughed. "Say it again," she said. "Say I'm insane. You said it when you wanted me quiet. Say it now when you want her to pity you." Evan's face broke for a second, and I saw exactly who he was underneath, a man who couldn't stand losing control of the stories he told. I took a slow breath and unlocked something in myself I didn't know was there. "Okay," I said. Both of them froze. Evan blinked. "Okay?" I nodded, looking straight at Maya. "You want official," I said. "You want him to pick a life. Fine." Evan's head snapped toward me. "What are you doing?" I ignored him. "But you don't get to threaten me in my home," I said to Maya. "And you don't get to use my body and my bed as your proof." Maya's eyes flicked, uncertain. "So what then?" I lifted my phone higher. "Then we all stop pretending," I said. "Right now." Evan's voice went thin. "No, don't." I opened my contacts, scrolled, and stopped on a name that made Evan's face change before I even tapped it. MOM. His mother. His safe place. His reputation shield. The woman who bragged about our marriage like it was her personal achievement. Evan lunged. "Don't you dare." Maya's eyes widened, suddenly alarmed. "What are you?" I hit call. The ringtone sounded too cheerful for what it was about to destroy. Evan grabbed my wrist, not gentle this time. His fingers dug in hard enough to hurt. "Hang up," he hissed. I didn't pull away. I just held his stare and let him see that the version of me who protected him was dead. His mother answered on the second ring, bright and warm. "Hi, sweetheart. Is everything okay?" Evan's grip tightened. I smiled at him with my teeth. "No," I said into the phone. "Everything is not okay." Behind Evan's shoulder, Maya lifted her phone, recording, eyes shining like she'd just realized this was going to get messy in a way she couldn't control. And in that moment, I understood the real fight wasn't between me and her. It was over who got to tell the story first. Evan's fingers were crushing my wrist, but I kept the phone to my ear like it was glued there. His mother's voice stayed cheerful for exactly one breath. "Honey, what's wrong?" Evan shook his head at me, frantic, silent. "Don't." I looked him straight in the eyes. "Evan has been cheating on me," I said into the phone. "And the woman is in our foyer right now. She's pregnant." The quiet on the line was so sharp it felt like pressure in my skull. "What did you just say?" his mother whispered. Evan let go of my wrist like it burned him. "Mom, stop, it's not." I cut him off. "He hid an ultrasound in his jacket," I said. "He bought her a ring. And she just sent me a video that was filmed in my bedroom." Maya made a small sound behind him, like she hadn't expected me to say that part out loud. I didn't turn around. His mother's voice cracked, thin and shaking. "Evan, is that true?" Evan's face contorted. "Mom, she's exaggerating." "Am I?" I said, and finally turned my head enough to look at Maya. "Tell her, since you're so brave in my house." Maya's mouth tightened. She lifted her chin anyway and spoke loud enough for the phone to catch. "It's true," she said. "I'm 10 weeks. Evan snapped. "Maya, shut up." His mother made a strangled sound like air had left her lungs. "Who is that?" "Maya Carter," I said. "She says Evan promised he'd leave me." Evan's eyes went wild. "I never." Maya cut in, venom sweet. "You did," she said. "You said it in the hotel when you told me you'd make it official." His mother's voice rose, sharp now, the way it did when she scolded a cashier for ringing up the wrong item. "Evan, are you out of your mind?" Evan grabbed the bridge of his nose like he could squeeze the reality away. "Mom, please. Not like this. Not like this," she repeated, horrified. "How would you like it, Evan? With a ribbon?" I felt my throat tighten, but I kept my voice steady. "He's here, half naked, trying to take my phone," I said. "And she's threatening to send videos to everyone if he doesn't file." There was a pause, then his mother said, low and deadly, "Videos?" Evan's head snapped up. "There are no videos." Maya's laugh was short. "Liar." I could hear his mother breathing hard, like she was pacing. "Evan," she said, "put me on speaker." I already had it on speaker. I just held the phone away from my face and watched Evan realize it. His skin went ashen. His mother's voice cut through the foyer. "Maya," she said, clipped, Why are you in my son's house? Maya's eyes flicked to me, then to Evan, like she was choosing a mask. Because he brought me here, she said. Because he promised me he'd stop hiding. Evan barked, I did not bring you here. Maya's eyes narrowed. You gave me the address, she shot back. You told me when she'd be home. That landed so hard my stomach rolled. I turned slowly toward Evan. You told her, I said quietly. You told her I'd be here. Evan's mouth opened and closed like a fish. I was trying to control it, he said. I thought if she came when I was here, it wouldn't explode. Explode. Like I was the bomb. His mother's voice snapped again. Control it? She repeated. You cheated, got someone pregnant, and then you tried to stage manage your wife's humiliation? Evan flinched at the word wife like it was a weapon being used against him. Maya shifted, suddenly restless. This isn't about her feelings, she said, pointing at me. This is about a baby. His mother's voice turned icy. It's about everything, she said. And you will not speak to her like she's disposable. Maya's eyes flashed. Then tell your son to stop treating me like I'm disposable. The air in the foyer went tight, 3 people locked in a triangle, and his mother's voice on the phone acting like a judge who'd just realized the courtroom was on fire. Evan stepped toward me again, desperate. Please, he said under his breath, hang up. I held his gaze and didn't move. His mother said, Evan, give your wife the phone to your father. Evan's head snapped up. No. The refusal was immediate. Too immediate. I saw it then. He didn't just fear his dad's anger. He feared his dad's knowledge. Why not? His mother demanded. Evan swallowed. Because you're overreacting. Maya laughed again, louder this time. Overreacting? She said. He told me his dad would kill him if he found out. Those were his words. My hand tightened around my phone. I turned my screen toward Evan. What else do you think they don't know? I asked, voice low. Evan's eyes darted to Maya like he wanted to silence her with his mind. Stop saying things, he hissed. Maya lifted her phone, still recording, still hungry. Make it official, she said. Say it in front of her. Say you're leaving. Evan's chest heaved. He looked at me like I was the one forcing him. Say it, Maya pressed. I didn't speak. I didn't plead. I just waited, and it was worse than begging because it made him face the truth without my help. Evan's shoulders sagged. His eyes slid away from mine and landed on the floor like he couldn't bear to look at what he'd done. Then he whispered, I can't lose everything. His mother's voice on the phone went brittle. You already did, she said. Maya smiled like she'd won. Then choose, she said. Evan shut his eyes. When he opened them, he looked at me and said the words like he was pushing them out of his throat with both hands. I'm going to stay with Maya for a while, he said. Just until we figure it out. For a second, my brain went perfectly blank. Then something hot rose in my chest and turned into a cold, clean decision. I lifted the phone again and spoke into it like I was reporting a crime. You heard him, I said to his mother. He just chose. Evan's face snapped toward me, panicked. That's not what I meant. Maya's eyes gleamed, but her smile faltered for the first time, like she hadn't expected it to happen so fast. His mother's voice was shaking now, but it wasn't grief. It was fury. Evan, she said, I'm coming over. Evan's head jerked. Mom, don't. I'm coming, she repeated, and I heard keys jingle through the speaker, the sound of a life moving. And I'm calling your father. Evan's knees looked like they might give out. Maya's eyes widened. Wait, she said, suddenly, to the phone like she could stop it. No, we don't need. But she did. She just didn't want the spotlight turned on her too. I watched Evan's face fracture into pure dread, and I realized something. He wasn't scared of losing me. He was scared of being seen exactly as he was. His mother said one last thing before the line clicked dead. If there's a video in that house, I want it destroyed before your father gets there. Evan's head snapped toward the stairs, toward our bedroom, toward whatever he'd hidden. And Maya's hand went to her belly again, not protective this time, possessive. I'm not leaving without that ring, she said, quiet and hard. Evan took one step toward the stairs. Maya took one step after him. And I moved first, because I suddenly understood the next explosion wasn't going to be emotional. It was going to be evidence. Evan sprinted up the stairs barefoot, towel slipping, panic making him clumsy. Maya followed like a shadow, her phone still up, recording, breathing fast. I didn't chase them. I walked, because running would mean I was still reacting to his choices. By the time I reached the bedroom, Evan had the nightstand drawer open and was dumping everything onto the floor with shaking hands. Where is it? He hissed, ripping out chargers, receipts, old keys. Maya leaned in the doorway, eyes locked on the mess. Don't play dumb, she said. You know where you hid it. I didn't hide anything, Evan snapped, voice cracking. I stepped into the room and looked past them, straight at the bed. The pillow on his side was slightly off, not fluffed the way I always left it. And the picture frame on the dresser, our wedding photo, was turned a few degrees, like someone had bumped it and never bothered to straighten it. My throat tightened. "You did this here," I said. Evan froze. For a second he didn't even try to deny it. Then he said, "It was one time. I was drunk. I was." "Stop," I said, and my voice didn't shake. "I don't care about your excuses anymore. I care about what you put in my home." Maya's mouth curled. "He set the camera up," she said, like she was proud of how much power he'd handed her. "He wanted me to feel like I wasn't crazy." Evan spun on her. "You blackmailed me." Maya's eyes flashed. "You fed me lies and called it love," she snapped back. "You don't get to act moral now." Evan's hands trembled as he lifted the mattress corner and shoved his arm underneath like he was reaching for a gun. "Nothing." He ripped the fitted sheet up, tossed pillows, checked behind the headboard. Each second he didn't find it, his breathing got louder, uglier. "Where is it?" he whispered, to himself now. Maya took a step closer to the bed. "It's in the room," she said. "I saw it. I saw the angle. I saw the—" She stopped mid-sentence, eyes darting to the ceiling. "Then I saw it too." A tiny black dot on the smoke detector above the bed. Not the detector itself. Something clipped to it. Evan looked up and went completely still. "Oh my God," I said, and the words came out empty. Maya lifted her phone higher, zooming in like she was filming wildlife. "There," she breathed. "That's it." Evan's face twisted like he was about to cry. That's not mine." I laughed once, sharp. "You think I installed a camera to film myself?" Evan lunged toward the bed, climbed up, and reached for the detector with both hands. "Don't," I said. He didn't listen. He yanked. The device came loose with a plastic snap. He jumped down holding it like it might bite him. A little camera. A little memory slot. A little red light. Maya's eyes gleamed. "Give it to me," she said instantly. Evan clutched it tighter. "No." "Evan," she warned. He backed away from her, toward the dresser, toward the closet, toward anything that wasn't her hands. "You're not taking it," he said, voice rising. "You already ruined." "Ruined?" Maya barked a laugh. "You ruined your own life." Her gaze flicked to me. "Tell him," she said. "Tell him you want it. Tell him you want to see what he did." I didn't answer. Because the truth was, I didn't want to see it. I wanted it gone. I wanted my bed back. Outside, from far down the street, a car engine roared and cut off. Then another door slammed. Evan went pale. "My mom," he whispered. Maya swore under her breath. "No," she said, suddenly tense. "No, this is between us." Evan spun, frantic again, and shoved the camera into his fist like he could hide it in his skin. "I'm deleting it," he said. Maya surged forward. "No you're not." She grabbed his arm. Evan jerked away so hard she stumbled, catching herself on the bed frame. Her phone slipped, bounced once on the comforter, and kept recording from a crooked angle. "Don't touch me," Evan snapped. "You don't touch me," Maya shot back, and her voice broke for the first time. "You don't get to decide what happens now." Evan's eyes darted to the laptop on the dresser like it was a lifeline. He lunged for it. I moved faster. I grabbed the laptop first and snapped it open. Evan reached for it, but I held it against my chest. "What's the password?" I asked, voice calm. He froze. "Give it." "What's the password?" I repeated. Maya's breath hitched. "Oh my God," she murmured. "He has it on there." Evan's jaw clenched. "Please," he said, and it was the first time he'd sounded genuinely afraid of me. "Don't." I stared at him and realized he wasn't afraid I'd leave. He was afraid I'd see. My fingers hovered over the keys. I tried the first thing that came to mind, the 6-digit code I'd failed on his phone earlier, but as a word, it didn't work. Then I looked at the velvet ring box on the floor, half buried in the mess he'd dumped out. My stomach turned. I typed, "Maya." Enter. The laptop unlocked. Maya's face changed like she'd been slapped. "You made it my name?" she whispered, furious and flattered at the same time. Evan looked like he'd been punched. I didn't scroll through photos. I didn't hunt for proof like a detective. The desktop background loaded by itself. A folder sat in the center, plain and brutal. "Official." Maya sucked in a breath. "That's," she started. I clicked it. Inside were subfolders with dates, hotels, screenshots, voice notes, and one file at the top with a name that made my vision go white at the edges. Wife_sleeping. MP4-inch. Maya made a low sound, not triumph now, something closer to shock. Evan's voice came out hoarse. I never meant to." My hand didn't shake. That scared me more than anything. I closed the laptop. Evan blinked, confused. "You're not going to?" "No," I said. "I'm not giving you the satisfaction of watching me break." Maya stepped closer, eyes locked on the closed laptop like it was a locked box of gold. "Open it," she demanded. "Send it to me. I need it." "You need it?" I repeated softly. "It's mine too," she snapped. "He filmed it for me." I looked at her for a long moment and realized she wasn't just a consequence. She was a collaborator. Downstairs, the front door opened hard enough to rattle the frame. "Evan!" His mother's voice thundered from the foyer. "Where are you?" Evan flinched like a child caught stealing. Maya's eyes darted toward the door, then back to the laptop. "Just give it to me," she hissed. "We can leave. He can come. This can be done." I stared at her and felt something settle inside me like a lock clicking shut. "No," I said. Evan took a step toward me, desperate again. "Please. We can fix this. We can." I cut him off. "You can't fix a man who installs cameras," I said. His mother's footsteps pounded up the stairs. Maya lunged for the laptop. I moved first. I walked to the dresser, opened the top drawer, and pulled out the little red envelope we kept for emergencies, the one with our spare house keys and our important papers. Then I did the one thing neither of them expected. I slid the laptop into the empty fireplace in the bedroom, decorative and used, but still lined with stone. I placed the camera on top of it like a cherry on a cake. Evan's eyes widened. "What are you doing?" Maya's voice went high. "Are you insane?" I didn't answer. I just reached into the envelope and pulled out the single matchbook from our last anniversary dinner. Still there, still unused, like a joke. Evan rushed toward me. "Don't." His mother appeared in the doorway at that exact second, hair disheveled, face red with rage. She took in the torn bed, the half-naked son, the pregnant stranger, and me holding a match. "What," she whispered, horrified, "is happening?" I struck the match. The flame flared bright and steady, lighting my fingers orange. Evan's mother stepped forward. "Stop." Maya screamed. "No." Evan lunged. I dropped the match into the fireplace. The flame caught fast on paper and dust and something oily from the electronics. A sharp crackle filled the room. For one heartbeat, all three of them froze, staring at the fire like it was a living thing. Then I stepped back, turned, and met Evan's eyes through the rising heat. The last thing I saw before smoke swallowed the screen and the red light died was his wedding ring flashing as he reached into the flames. Too late, fingers shaking, trying to save proof of a life he'd already burned.